Alright, welcome to the United Matters channel. Patrick Dorgu to United talks are on. So guys, hope our cry has gone ahead obviously answered soon by Ineos, and obviously we want a player. And by the way, one of those players that we've been hugely urging to obviously be brought into the club of Manchester United is a left-footed player to play as a left wing back, and Patrick Dorgu is one of those that is reported to coming to Manchester United. Talks are on with his club Lecce in Italy, and guess what? He's an exciting player that if at all you obviously have a look at him, you'll obviously love what he puts onto the field of play. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokan David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. This is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as your faves are really concerned, and we'll continue to broadcast to you the best of the best coming in through from where we think you people are supposed to be knowing the news. Yesterday I never came up to obviously bring you the match reaction. I was really caught up, but I want to let you know that you know how the game ended. 3-1 in favor of Brighton, with only Bruno Fernandes scoring a penalty into that game of football. United had one shot on target. That was really shocking. And I've already told you that the problem of Manchester United is that we don't create chances. And this has been answered by us going in through for a left wing back known as Patrick Dorgu. Patrick Dorgu is a Danish international, 20 years of age, and is really exciting. And the person to break the story today has been David Ornstein, and this is what he had to say. Ornstein said, Man United in talks with Lecce over potential deal for left back Patrick Dorgu. No agreement, but dialogue progressing for 20-year Denmark international. Man United lining up various options in multiple positions prior to deciding on ins and outs. And what does that mean? It means that for us obviously getting a player, we have to sell, and that's what we are being told. Patrick Dorgu is a youngster that most of us really want to see come at Manchester United and perform to full effect, and I know he's obviously going to be one of those players that is obviously going to come up and obviously put in a very good shift at the club of Manchester United. So talks are on progressing, and they're really doing on well, and that is David Ornstein, who came up and obviously told us something today. Then Fabrizio Romano also came up and told us that Man United have been working on Patrick Dorgu deal, an exclusively revealed story 2 weeks ago. He's still one of the main names on the list. And let's go back 2 weeks. What Fabrizio Romano had to say about Patrick Dorgu. He said, Man United keep looking at left wing backs as they've also added Denmark international Patrick Dorgu to their list. Milos Kakezi and Nuno Mendes higher on the list, but more expensive. Dorgu monitored by Manchester scouts in the recent months. Napoli are also keen on getting him. This is the story that was put out by Fabrizio Romano when that was 2 weeks back, and that means he got it fast. And then David Ornstein has come up and told us that the talks are really ongoing at Man United Carrington to see to it that the deal of this player really comes to pass. Now, Fabrizio added that Man United are set to open formal talks with Lecce for Patrick Dorgu. No bid has been sent so far, as exclusively revealed 2 weeks ago. He's high on list as Kokezi and Nuno Mendes are too expensive. So this is the player that is needed by Man United, and he goes by the names of Patrick Dorgu. Patrick Dorgu is one of those players that United added to the list, but Kokezi and Nuno Mendes have been really topping the list. But I think yesterday, but when I brought you a story informing you that the deal has gone ahead, obviously not materialize. It looks like the deal is off and it's not happening, as the player known as Nuno Mendes has been waiting for Man United, and Man United hasn't come up to obviously put in a very huge show into the mix. So this guy is a left-footed player, 20 years of age, and he has gone ahead obviously put in a very, very huge show. So Lecce want around 40 million euros for Patrick Dorgu. You understand? 40 million euros, that is like 33 to 34 million pounds. I think that's an absolute bargain for the club of Manchester United to get in this youngster who is really 20 years of age. And he's really good. And when you look at his stats this season, he has played 20 games for the side of Lecce and he has scored 3 goals and put up 1 assist. Last season, he played 32 games and he scored 2 goals, meaning that he's really improving from what he did last season and he's really showing huge intent because last season he scored 2 goals in the entire season, but in just 20 games this season he has 3 goals and 1 assist, surpassing the number of goals and assists he obviously scored last season. So it shows you that he's really a very good player and he's 1.8 meters tall and I think he's really great. His injury record is not all that bad because last season he was out for just 5 days and he had 1 injury, and this season he had an injury that was really unknown. You understand? This season he has been out for 5 days. Last season he was out for 5 days too, meaning that he's not an injury-prone player. When you are obviously talking about injury-prone players, there is no way you can obviously put him and injury proneness into the same statement. And that's what makes him one of those players that we have to obviously go on and really bring in. He's Danish, meaning that he's going to come up throughout Man United and obviously find 2 players who are really Danish. That is Rasmus Højlund and Eriksson. Eriksson is on his way out, but for Rasmus Højlund, he's still here. And for the player known as Patrick Dorgu, I think he'll obviously bond a lot with Rasmus Højlund because they are age mates. Rasmus Højlund is 21, Patrick Dorgu is 20. And remember, there is another one who is in the academy who also is exciting. That is Chido Obi Martins. He is also Danish and he can obviously come up and obviously join the queue of these Danish players to obviously make this youngster feel at home. I think he's quick, he's fast, he inverts well into the midfield and he's a press resistant player. You know, he inverts inside and puts in the required shift altogether, and that is a player that we need. If you're having Dalo and Mazarawi doing it onto the right attacking side of the midfield, you are having Dorgu, that will be great. As wait maybe for Luke should obviously come up and really represent to the fullest for the club of Manchester United. So for me, Patrick Dorgu is a player that I think is really doing wonders and is a player that I think we have to obviously bring on at the club of Manchester United. And I think there is no way we are going to fail to bring in a player of his caliber because this is hugely wanted. And he's one of those players that I know are really going to balance up our attacks on both sides because we need creativity off the right and creativity off the left. But for him, he's like an attacking midfield, especially every time he really gets on the ball. Defensively, he's okay. He's 1.8 meters tall. His energy levels are okay. And he's also a physical player, meaning that the Premier League won't obviously be a problem to him. And I'm not saying that he's going to hit the ground running, but I think he's the right quality of player that you have to bring in right about now, especially with what we are having at Manchester United. Lecce wants 40 million euros and United is really holding talks to see to it that all goes on well as planned. Now, I know before today ends, or tomorrow, we'll get the news of the personal terms being agreed between the player and Man United, and then we'll obviously go to Lecce and tell them, please, we want to sign this player, and now he's excited. And by the way, if you're Man United, these are the kinds of players that you need to obviously go in for, not the already finished articles, because we are not going to convince them to come to Manchester United. With our position in the league, I don't know how we can come up and really convince very many players to come in and really play part into the side of Man United. For example, Man United is 13th into the Premier League, you know, and the earlier we bring in players like Patrick Dorgu, the earlier we come out of this mess of not performing very well. And the longer we take, the longer we'll take to obviously get ourselves into all out of this mess. So guys, your thoughts on Patrick Dorgu to Man United talks on. What do you make about that? Rokan David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun. I sign out for now. See you later. Rokan David is my name, and continue to subscribe because we want to hit 21,000 subscribers onto this channel. Bye bye.